You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
Now I feel the sense that he's boxing a little bit better. He picked up the speed.
He's certainly picked up the pace. Big body shot by Barrios.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I can tell you right now, the way professional boxers and a lot of boxing fans right now are reacting to the news of Gervonta possibly moving up to 140 to fight the undefeated regular WBA champion, Mario Barrios, who's trained by Virgil Hunter, it just proves that Floyd Mayweather is a genius when it comes to the way he's guiding Gervonta Tank Davis's career right now. Before I get deeper into that point, let's go ahead and get into the actual news. So reporter Mike Coppinger, he reported that Tank Davis and Mario Barrios are in serious negotiations to fight next. And since I reported this story, you have a lot of boxers that have come out and they're surprised because at least the three I'm talking about right now, they all say Gervonta is way too small for Mario Barrios. Virgil Ortiz, Rolando Romero, and Teofimo Lopez are just some of the ones that feels Gervonta Tank Davis is way too small for Mario at 140, which is what will make this win much bigger for Gervonta if he were to pull it off, especially if he could knock out the much bigger, talented Mario Barrios. I keep telling you guys, Mario Barrios is a bigger version of Ryan Garcia, but he's overall better than Ryan Garcia. He has a better jab, and overall, he moves his head better than Ryan Garcia. And once again, he's trained by Virgil Hunter. Not to mention, he's also been crowned as the newest golden boy of boxing and had boxing websites calling him the prospect of the month last year. So this is not like Gervonta Tank Davis is moving up in weight to fight an Avni Yildirim or Sismeta, whatever his name was, the guy that Golovkin just beat who had 5 knockouts. This is a real threat at a higher weight class. I mean, when it comes to a fight like this, it doesn't even matter what type of belt that Mario Barrios holds because it's such a great fight. People want to see how Tank is going to deal with a much bigger fighter at a higher weight class who has skill and talent. Now, and I still see Gervonta Tank Davis winning this fight. I just want to see how he's going to do it. Can he knock him out? Can he make this look just as easy as he made the Leo Santa Cruz fight look at a much higher weight class? That's what I want to see. Now, even though a lot of boxers, they feel that Gervonta is crazy for even moving up to 140, fighting someone like Mario Barrios, but clearly Tank Davis, he doesn't see it that way. He sees this as another walk in the park because he's already basically calling out Regis Prograis at the same division, someone who is even better than Mario Barrios, possibly top 2 the best junior welterweight in the world. I mean, he lost to Josh Taylor in that tournament, which was a very close competitive fight. In his very next fight, he beat the undefeated Juan Heraldez, who was a really good fighter, trains at the Mayweather gym. I've personally been knowing Juan for years. I've followed his career. So I'm used to watching him just beat up opponents, beat up guys in Las Vegas and sparring. So it was shocking for me to see Regis blow away Juan like he was just some journeyman. It was impressive. These are the type of guys that Tank Davis is basically calling out at a higher weight class. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, when I told you this shows you the genius that Floyd Mayweather is. The reason why I bring this up is just in case you guys haven't been paying attention to what's going on right now. Old media is doing their best to try to prevent another Floyd Mayweather from reaching the top of the sport. And matter of fact, so there's no confusion, when I say another Floyd Mayweather, I basically mean another black fighter. Because they have seen so many of their favorite fighters lose to guys on the coincidental list, now they're just simply saying, if you can't beat them, don't invite them to the party. And that's what's going on right now. This is the reason why whenever Teofimo, Canelo, or Ryan Garcia is interviewed, most of the time reporters, they'll come out and they'll just say, look, man, you could fight whoever you want. You call the shots. You're undisputed. You can fight whoever you want. We heard Max Kellerman basically telling Teo, you don't have to fight Devin Haney, because if you fight him, then they're going to be like, oh, well, you still have the regular WBA, the regular this, or all of this kind of stuff. So you don't have to fight for Devin Haney's WBC belt or any other belt because you're undisputed. Chris Mannix basically said the same thing to Ryan Garcia. Right after Ryan Garcia beat Luke, he's interviewing Ryan and he's supposed to be asking Ryan questions. Instead, he proceeds to tell Ryan Garcia, you call the shots. All of this, you call the shots, you can fight whoever you want, it simply translates to MBF. No black fighters. Leave these black fighters alone and we can continue to call you the best. We can continue to call you undisputed. I mean, just think about this for a second. Have you ever heard old media tell a black champion, you call the shots, you can fight whoever you want? Man, they didn't even say this to a 38-year-old Floyd Mayweather after he had beat Manny Pacquiao. So we know what time it is. This is why, if you guys notice, whenever Canelo or Golovkin fights on DAZN, Chris Mannix, he will never ask them about fighting a Charlo or an Andrade. Oh, but he asked them, do you want to fight Golovkin? Do you want to fight Golovkin a third time? But he doesn't even mention Andrade or Charlo. Matter of fact, one time, right after Golovkin beat Derevyanchenko, Andrade tried to hop in the ring. Man, they blocked Andrade and they kept him so far away from Gennady Golovkin, you would have thought he was trying to sack a quarterback or something. But the crazy thing is, Gennady Golovkin and Chris Mannix, they're watching all of this unfold like a couple feet away from them as Chris is interviewing Gennady Golovkin, and Chris Mannix never even mentions Demetrius Andrade's name, knowing that he fights on DAZN and he's the other champion in Golovkin's division. Why does he? Because it's about that MBF. So what makes Floyd Mayweather such a genius is while MBF is in full season, Floyd Mayweather is still finding ways to create new lanes for Gervonta Tank Davis to reach the top of the sport. And once again, the way boxers are reacting to the news of Tank fighting against Mario Barrios, it proves that it's working, what Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis are attempting to do. But at the same time, it is still sad that black fighters have to put themselves at a disadvantage just to get the type of fights that will elevate their careers. Because if Ryan Garcia or even a Teofimo would have took the Tank fight, Tank wouldn't have to do this. Same thing with Jermall Charlo. The only way Jermall Charlo is going to really get elevated and get the credit he deserves right now is if he puts himself at a disadvantage, moves up in weight to fight against the much bigger David Benavidez. Even though I'm pushing hard for that fight, it is a handicap match at the end of the day. But because Canelo and Golovkin have been avoiding Jermall Charlo for 6 years, Charlo really has no other choice unless he's going to fight Demetrius Andrade. And you guys have already heard me say on multiple videos that I thought if Canelo and Golovkin weren't going to fight Andrade and Charlo, they're going to have to fight against each other. And the winner of that fight would have put a lot more pressure on Canelo to take the fight. But this would have only been when Canelo was still at 160. So now that Canelo has moved up to 168, the way Charlo can put more pressure on Canelo taking the fight is if he does go into a handicap match and beat David Benavidez. That would definitely pressure Canelo Alvarez to take the fight or look extremely bad in front of the boxing world if he doesn't take the fight. Same thing applies for David Benavidez. If David beats Charlo, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Canelo to take the Benavidez fight as well. I think a win for Gervonta Tank Davis when it comes to him possibly beating Mario Barrios. If that fight does come to fruition, it opens all, just like Errol Spence's win over Mikey Garcia did. When none of the other welterweights would fight Errol Spence, all of a sudden you had a smaller guy, and Mikey Garcia, he was saying, man, if you guys won't do it, I'll do it. He jumped in there, and after that, all of a sudden everyone realized, man, we can't have some smaller guy making us look bad. We need to fight this man, Errol Spence, and that's exactly what happened. After Mikey jumped in there, everybody wanted to fight Errol Spence. Now Errol Spence is the man at 147. I think this is what's going to happen if Gervonta does fight Mario and he beats him. It's going to be very hard for a Teofimo, a Ryan Garcia, or anyone to turn down a Gervonta Tank Davis fight. Matter of fact, it was pretty interesting because when Teofimo was doing an interview talking about the Mario Barrios fight, Fight Hub was interviewing Teo, and he said to Teo, man, if Gervonta goes all the way up to 140 and beats this guy or even stops him, that's going to make a hell of a fight between you and him at 140 or wherever. What's your thoughts on that? And it was so funny because Teo, he didn't even really talk about him fighting Tank Davis. He kept just saying things like, okay, well, this fight against Mario is good for boxing. And he kept talking about the belt. You know, is it the interim belt or, okay, I see what he's trying to do. He wants to be considered a 3-division champion, et cetera, et cetera. But he never answered the question when it came to him fighting against Tank Davis. And finally, Fight Hub had to ask the question again. And then he said, well, yeah, you know, it would be a good fight. It would be good for the sport. It would be a good fight. And that was pretty much, he didn't sound enthused about a Tank Davis fight is the point, at 140 or at 135. But like I said, I truly believe a lot of that is going to change if Gervonta gets the Mario fight and he beats him. Let's see how it plays out. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, in the world that we live in today, one of the most important things in life to have is a good lawyer. And I can vouch for this one right here because this brother is my personal lawyer. So if you need any type of legal representation, if you need legal advice, if you're having problems on YouTube, on your regular job, or whatever it is, contact lawyer, mediator, and business consultant Issa Israel's law firm. I've been knowing this man for a while, and he has been a true blessing to me. I'm telling you, he's affordable, he will work with you, but most importantly, he's not going to just treat you like a customer. He will have your best interest. So to get in contact with him, go to iilawfirm.com or consultsglobal.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.